This is Meenakshi Dilip Birari, working as a assistant professor in chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nasik. As in previous lectures, we have studied the manufacture of ammonia by Haber process and modified Bosch-Haber process. So, in today's lecture, we are going to discuss the physico-chemical principles involved in ammonia manufacturing. We know that the Haber process is a reversible reaction in which one volume of N2 reacts with 3 volume of H2 to give 2 volume of NH3 with the liberation of heat. So the reaction is reversible and the forward reaction is exothermic. When the forward and backward reactions go on at the same rate, a state of dynamic equilibrium can exist. So in the Haber process, we want the dynamic equilibrium to move to the right so that lots of ammonia is made and not much nitrogen and hydrogen is left around. So according to Le Chatelier's principle, in a dynamic equilibrium, the position of the equilibrium will shift in order to reverse any changes you introduce. The French chemist Le Chatelier worked all this lot out. So let us see in detail the physico-chemical principles involved in ammonia manufacturing. Synthetically, ammonia is formed by the reaction, that is N2 plus H2 give the formation of twice NH3. So 1 volume of N2, 3 volume of H2 gives 2 volume of NH3. So this reaction is reversible and the forward reaction is exothermic and the backward reaction is endothermic. During the formation of NH3, there is decrease in volume. According to Le Chatelier's principle, the percentage of ammonia formation at equilibrium will increase with increase in pressure and decrease in temperature. So, if you observe this reaction, the number of reactant molecules or the volume of reactant, it is 4, but the formation of product 2 volume of product. So, there is decrease in volume. So, during the formation of NH3, there is a decrease in volume. According to Le Chatelier's principle, if we have to increase the yield of ammonia formation at equilibrium, we should increase the pressure and decrease in temperature. Factors that can affect a reversible reaction, it includes change in temperature, changing concentration and changing pressure. The equilibrium constant Kp for the above reaction depends upon the temperature and also upon the pressure. An increase in pressure shifts the equilibrium towards the right and favors the formation of ammonia. A reasonable percentage of ammonia is found to be present in the equilibrium mixture. So this equilibrium constant Kp, it depends upon the temperature and pressure. So what is the effect of temperature? If we increase the temperature, we find that the system tries to decrease it. Similarly, if we decrease the temperature, the system tries to increase it. The formation of ammonia is an exothermic reaction, therefore it is favored by low temperature. So this table, it shows the decrease in percentage of ammonia at equilibrium when temperature is increased. So when we observe here the 350 degrees Celsius temperature, the percent of ammonia at 200 atmospheric pressure, it is about 37.5. If we increase the temperature 400, then the percentage of ammonia, it will be 24.9. Similarly, at 500 degrees Celsius temperature, the percentage of ammonia, it will be 10.4. And at 550 degrees Celsius, the percentage of ammonia, it is 6.9. So the formation of ammonia is an exothermic reaction, therefore it is favored by low temperature. So here at lower temperature, the percentage of ammonia at 200 atmospheric pressure, it is more. The equilibrium constant K, it remains constant at a given temperature. It increases with increase in temperature and decreases with decrease in temperature. But at lower temperature, the rate of reaction is very slow. Therefore, in the converter, the optimum temperature is kept and rate of reaction is increased by using a catalyst. So it is the effect of temperature on equilibrium. So we should remember that if the formation of ammonia is favored by low temperature, but at lower temperature the rate of reaction is very slow. Therefore, in the converter, optimum temperature is kept and the rate of reaction is increased by using a catalyst. So to improve the yield of ammonia in the Haber process, the reaction produces heat when it moves to the right. That means it is a exothermic reaction. This means that a lower temperature would favor the forward reaction. But reactions go slower at lower temperature. So in operating the Haber process, you have to decide what is more important. The higher yield you can get at lower temperatures or the higher rate at higher temperatures. So the optimum temperature should be used to increase the yield of ammonia in the Haber process. Now let us see the effect of pressure for the formation of ammonia. In the above reaction, there is decrease in volume during forward reaction. We know that 4 volume of reactants involved to give only 2 volume of product. That means there is decrease in volume during the forward reaction. Therefore, if we increase the pressure, the equilibrium shifts in such a direction that the number of moles and hence the volume decreases. If we increase the pressure, we find the more amount of NH3 is formed. In general, a reaction which is accompanied by a decrease in volume is favored by increase in pressure. So this table, it shows the increase in percentage of ammonia at equilibrium when pressure is increased at a constant temperature of 400 degrees Celsius. So here the pressure in atmosphere 30, percentage of ammonia at 400 degrees Celsius, it is 10. If we increase the pressure at about 100 atmosphere, the percentage of ammonia, it increases about 24.9, and at 250 atmospheric pressure, the percentage of ammonia, it is 36.3. That means increase in percentage of ammonia at equilibrium when pressure is increased at a constant temperature of 400 degrees Celsius. So in general, reaction which is accompanied by a decrease in volume is favored by increase in pressure. So we know the reaction, that means 1 volume of N2 give the 3 volume of H2 and formation of 2 volume of NH3. That means 1 volume plus 3 volume, total 4 molecules of reactant and 2 molecules of ammonia we get as a product. Here 4 molecules of reactant and only 2 molecules of product. So that there is decrease in volume. So on the left hand side there are 4 moles of gas, while on the right hand side there are only 2 moles. So any increase in pressure will favor the forward reaction to produce more ammonia. This is because the forward reaction will tend to decrease the pressure in the system. So we know the forward reaction is exothermic. That means an increase in pressure will favor the forward reaction to produce more ammonia. So this is the graphical representation which can explain the effect of pressure related to the reaction. So at 200 degrees Celsius and the pressure above 750 atmosphere, there is an almost 100% conversion of reactants to the ammonia product. Since there are difficulties associated with taking larger amounts of materials at this high pressure, lower pressures of around 200 atmosphere are used industrially. So by using a pressure of around 200 atmosphere and a temperature of about 500 degrees Celsius, the yield of ammonia is 10 to 20%, while the cost and safety concerns in the building and during the operation of the plant are minimized. So it is a graphical representation. It shows the variation of percentage of NH3 with change of pressure. So pressure, it is on x-axis in the atmosphere, and on y-axis there is the percentage of ammonia. So at 200 degrees Celsius the pressure above 750 atmosphere, there is an almost 100% conversion of reactants to the ammonia product. So by using a pressure of around 200 atmosphere and temperature of 500 degrees Celsius, the yield of ammonia is only 10 to 20%. So in the Haber process, the pressure is set as high as possible to give the best percentage yield of ammonia. But high pressure containers are very expensive, and also it could be possible to carry out the reaction at 1000 atmospheres, but this would not be economical because it would cost more than the product is worth. So as we increase the pressure, there will be the best percentage yield, but the high pressure containers are very expensive, and it could be possible to carry out the reaction at 1000 atmospheres, but this would not be economical. So the typical pressure used in ammonia manufacturing is about 200 to 350 atmospheres. So at this optimum pressure, the yield of ammonia will be maximum. Now let us see the effect of catalyst in ammonia manufacturing. We know that nitrogen is a non-reactive gas, and hence H2 and N2 react very slowly. For economical production of ammonia, the rate of reaction is increased by the use of a catalyst. So specially prepared, that is finely divided iron, is used as a catalyst in ammonia manufacturing. Its activity is increased by promoting it doubly by the addition of both an amphoteric oxide like Al2O3 about 3% or SiO2, an alkaline oxide like K2O about 1%, or also the molybdenum is added to the catalyst and increase the percentage conversion of ammonia. So the promoters increase the life and also the activity of catalyst, and also the percentage of conversion of ammonia is also increased. The catalyst allows higher yield at lower temperature and pressure. Thus it reduces the production cost also. So the specially prepared and finely divided iron is used as a catalyst, and the activity of catalyst, it can be increased by promoting it doubly by the addition of the amphoteric oxide like Al2O3 or SiO2, and alkaline oxide like K2O, or also in some cases the molybdenum is added to the catalyst to increase the percentage of conversion of ammonia. In absence of catalyst, the equilibrium is reached in 2 hours at 500 degrees Celsius when 80% reaction is complete. When a catalyst is used at 500 degrees Celsius, the rate is increased 4 times. So the equilibrium is reached in half hour only. So this makes the process very economical. So when a chemical process is used for commercial application, Time factor is important. Maximum yield of the desired product has to be obtained in a minimum possible time. So an exothermic reversible chemical reaction, it is favored by low temperature, but at low temperature the time required to reach the equilibrium is very long. In industrial process, usually a temperature is found out such that yield will be more and the equilibrium will be reached sufficiently faster. This temperature is called as optimum temperature. So during the process, the optimum temperature is kept and catalyst is also used. In the manufacture of ammonia, the optimum temperature for the reaction is 500 degrees Celsius. If we use the catalyst, the reaction rate is increased 4 times, so the equilibrium is reached in only 1/2 hour. In the absence of catalyst, the equilibrium is reached in 2 hours at optimum temperature, that is 500 degrees Celsius, when 80% reaction is complete. So this makes the process economical. Hence, finely divided iron is used as a catalyst in the manufacture of ammonia. A small quantity of Al2O3 or K2O or molybdenum is added to the catalyst and they increase the percentage conversion of ammonia. So we should remember that a catalyst does not shift the equilibrium to the left or to the right and hence does not change the magnitude of equilibrium constant. The catalyst only helps the equilibrium to establish in a shorter time. So we should remember that catalyst does not shift the equilibrium but it helps the equilibrium to establish in a shorter time. So iron is used as a catalyst to increase the yield and to establish the equilibrium in a shorter time. An iron catalyst makes the reaction occur more quickly. It does not affect the percent yield, that is the position of the dynamic equilibrium. But without the catalyst, the temperature would have to be much higher. This would lower the yield of ammonia. So iron catalyst, it can be used to increase the rate of reaction in ammonia manufacturing. It took over 6,500 experiments at different temperatures and pressures which are carried out by German Karl Bosch. And this scientist, that is German Karl Bosch, got a Nobel Prize for it in 1931. Also, the Haber got this Nobel Prize in 1918. So we should remember that over 6,500 experiments at different temperatures and pressures carried out by the German Karl Bosch to work all this lot out. As we have studied the manufacturing of ammonia by Haber process and also modified Bosch-Haber process. So for making ammonia, three conditions are important. So what are the three important conditions for the manufacturing of ammonia? We know that nitrogen and hydrogen reacts to form ammonia. That means 1 volume of N2, 3 volume of H2 give the formation of 2 volume of NH3. That is a synthetical reaction for the manufacture of ammonia. To produce ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen, you have to use three conditions. So what are the three important conditions for making ammonia? So nitrogen and hydrogen reacts with one another in presence of higher pressure at 450 degrees Celsius temperature and in the presence of iron catalyst. So these are the three important things. Pressure, it is higher, optimum temperature 450 degrees Celsius and finely divided iron catalyst is used to convert nitrogen and hydrogen into ammonia, that is NH3. So we get the mixture of NH3, H2 and N2. This is cooled causing NH3 to liquefy. So in the form of liquid, we get the formation of NH3. Also, if there is the remaining hydrogen and nitrogen, it is recycled and again it is converted to NH3, that is liquid form of ammonia. So that is the method for the formation of ammonia, which is given by modified Bosch-Haber process. So the conditions, three important conditions: higher pressure, 450 degrees Celsius temperature, and finely divided catalyst ion. Let us see the economics of Haber process. We know that the reaction, it is exothermic. The forward reaction is exothermic and the backward reaction is endothermic. So A plus B give the formation of C plus D. If there is increase in temperature, the reaction is endothermic in the presence of more product, and exothermic increases the temperature, more reactants with the liberation of heat and also the product. So it is the reaction involved in the manufacturing of ammonia. Nitrogen reacts with hydrogen, 3 volume of hydrogen, to form 2 volume of NH3. So the forward reaction and backward reaction, when we observe, one is endothermic and it is exothermic. The forward reaction is exothermic and the backward reaction is endothermic. During the formation of NH3, there is decrease in volume. Also there is the liberation of heat. Thus the favorable conditions for the better yield of ammonia are temperature, optimum temperature 500 degrees Celsius, 450 to 500 degrees Celsius, pressure 200 to 300 atmosphere, catalyst finely divided ion, and the proportion of gases, that is N2 and H2 in the ratio 1:3. That means 1 volume of nitrogen and 3 volume of hydrogen. So we should remember the favorable conditions for the better yield of ammonia: temperature 500 degrees Celsius, pressure 200 to 300 atmosphere, catalyst finely divided ion, and proportion of gases N2 to H2, it is 1:3. Now let us see the uses of ammonia. Ammonia is widely used in the manufacture of nitrogen containing compounds. Ammonia which is produced is one of the product that is essential in many areas. So some uses of ammonia, that includes the agricultural uses. Production of ammonia, it is important as it is one of the main components in making fertilizers. So agricultural industries are the major users of ammonia. Ammonia is very valuable source of nitrogen that is essential for plant growth. Depending on the particular crop being grown, up to 200 pounds of ammonia per acre may be applied for each growing season. So in agricultural sector also the ammonia, it is very useful. Then explosive, ammonia is also used to produce or in making the nitro based explosives including TNT, RDX, etc. It is also used in pharmaceutical industries for the manufacturing of certain types of drugs such as sulfonamide, antimalarials, and vitamins such as thiamine and nicotinamide. It is used in large scale refrigeration plants, air conditioning units in buildings, etc. Ammonia is used in various cleaning products and it acts as an effective cleaning agent. Ammonia, it is very important chemical as it can be used to make plant fertilizers and nitric acid. So the ammonia gas and oxygen in presence of hot platinum catalyst give the formation of nitrogen monoxide. If this nitrogen monoxide is cooled and reacted with water and oxygen, there is a formation of nitric acid. So it is very important chemical and it can be used to make plant fertilizers and also nitric acid. More ammonia can then be used to neutralize the nitric acid to produce ammonium nitrate, and this ammonium nitrate, it is a fertilizer which is rich in nitrogen. So that is ammonia plus nitric acid NH3 plus HNO3 give the formation of ammonium nitrate NH4NO3, that is a fertilizer which is rich in nitrogen. But the trouble with nitrogen based fertilizer is that they can also create problems. They could contaminate our drinking water. So it is one of the disadvantage or trouble with the nitrogen based fertilizer, that is they can contaminate our drinking water. So these are again the uses of ammonia in various industries. Ammonia is used in fertilizer industry, petroleum industry, mining industry, rubber industry, paper industry, also in leather industry. So ammonia is used in the manufacture of nitric acid, certain alkalis such as soda ash, dyes, pharmaceuticals such as sulfur drugs, vitamins, and cosmetics, synthetic textile fibers such as nylon, rayon, and also it is used for the manufacture of certain plastics such as phenolics and polyurethanes. The petroleum industry also utilizes ammonia in neutralizing the acid constituents of crude oil and for the protection of equipment from corrosion. Ammonia is also used in the mining industry for extraction of metals such as copper, nickel, and molybdenum from their ores. Dissociated ammonia, it is used in such metal treating operations as a nitriding, bright annealing, furnace brazing, sinistering, sintering, sodium hydride, descaling, or also in other applications where the protective atmospheres are required. Ammonia and urea are also used as a source of protein in livestock feeds for ruminating animals such as cattle, sheep, and goats. Ammonia can also be used as a pre-harvest cotton defoliant and antifungal agent on certain fruits and as a preservative for the storage of high moisture corn. Ammonia is also used in the production of liquid fertilizer solutions which consist of ammonia, ammonium nitrate, urea, and aqua ammonia. So it is also used by fertilizer industry to produce ammonium and nitrate salts. So these are the various uses of ammonia. Ammonia it is produced is one product that is essential in many areas. So in today's lecture, we have studied the physico-chemical principles involved in ammonia manufacturing and also the uses of ammonia in various areas. So we will meet again in next lecture with next topic. Thank you.